Try to rob me for my check, nigga. Better not break them laws, you know that's staff, nigga. What if the Lord took you out your flesh, nigga? Fucking with them prophets, you get a try to rob me for my check, nigga. Better not break them laws, you know that's staff, nigga. What if the Lord took you flesh, nigga? Fucking with them prophets, you get less, nigga. I'm sitting B-side, I'm all about my butter, jelly with the wheat. Niggas know it ain't sweet, though. A piece of roll, you can feel the heat, though. Young newly called me the ski, though. I'm sliding on them cold as a Minnesota wind. I survive it on them like the Eskimos. Yes, you know the native brothers. Shout out to the Haitians, we love them. Dad called me the ski, though. I'm slide cold as a Minnesota wind. I survive it on them like the Eskimos. Yes, you know the natives be the brothers. Shout out to the Haitians, we love them. Leave I be the nation, fucker. Every time I got them on, I got them hating, motherfucker. I don't put no products on the devil well. Every time you see me with that metal, boys have a clip. Strong like electric chair. Niggas feeling fine. Niggas getting shot when I talk what they desire. When everything was prior, the prophecies is coming out. The niggas get the running when the trumpets get the drumming out. Why? We sipping slaughter. You fucked over me today, but fuck with you tomorrow. Ain't no money knocking bottles. Spread that UPK and selling devils for my soul. Hey, sipping on my slaughter. You fucked over me today, well I can't fuck with you tomorrow. Ain't no money bottle. I'm spread that UPK and selling devils for my soul. Try to rob me for my check, nigga. Better not break them laws, you know that's staff, nigga. What if the Lord took you out your flesh, nigga? Talking with them prophets, you get less, nigga. I'm just trying to do what a mother probably do. Why you trying to stop it, dude? If this is not the truth, would I die for a lie? Hell, I never do. I'ma die for the truth. This is what I'm telling you. Hoping that your mind bulletproof. Telling you. Hoping you ain't buying all the lies they been selling you. Never knew all the fucking faggot shit they never do. Bet they run when the news come like the wind. Hoping that your mind bulletproof. What they telling. Hoping you ain't buying all the lies they been selling. Never knew all the fucking faggot shit they never do. Bet they run when the news come like the wind. We on the grind trying to help these Jews find they mind. They feel like Jews, but we still gon' shine. I'm gone locked up. All they doing is sign. I'm waiting till the devil painful is crime. Hey, I'm sipping slaughter. You fucked over me today, but you tomorrow. Ain't no money knocking bottles. Spread that UPK. Devils for my soul. Try to rob me for my check, nigga. Better not break them laws, you staff, nigga. What if the Lord took you out your flesh, nigga? Fucking with them prophets, you get less, nigga. Get your mind bulletproof. What they telling, hoping you ain't buying all the lies they been selling.
We put a tidal wave of emotion upon the back burner. Coming up in this truth, you suffer like a Nat Turner. Terror structure ain't the first or the last of the black murders. Anybody talk slick, you get your heart operated on your mind. Is what the Christian church made it on all the lies. And that white man you keep waiting on to fall out of the sky. Simple watery eyes and the gnashing of your teeth. We keep this brothers in Trump. Control the power with the peace. We turn the drama into peace. But keep a lookout, have a lookout. Anybody got a problem? No, we quick to bring the book out. As a bishop of men, I'm trained to always have my lookout. We the rebels you heard about. Same hands I have you took out 144,000 saints that Christ done took out. We wasn't straight, so we got the crooks out. He's going down, you ain't gotta be from a crowd. Just a member of the family. Religiosity, it's just a white man's fantasy to keep us out the land through the vanity of our eyes. You can't deny the devil being a lie and a terrorist. So UPK is real as it gets, the realest it's ever been. Every trooper is evidence, the officers, weapon specialists, the captains of chariots, the generals dropping jewels on you, Judas Iscariot. Repent, motherfucker. In the world I wasn't Cupid, the truth made me ruthless. Used to fear death, now I don't give two shits. Bloody knuckles, soup fist, rather have my boots kissed. Cook these heathens up like a steak out of Ruth's Chris. Straight out the nooses, they knowin' how we do in a moment. It's hammer time, let a nigga call me Judas. Mr. Mac is on attack mode, I'm ice, I don't act cold. Never mind, I'm an asshole, my mission defeating black hole. Equipped with bait and tackle, standing next to me, listen, you could light a candle. Boots, braids, kids, and grills with all black camo. Coming out of Hebrew Academy, John Rambo, I'm a sample of your life. After stepping, fetching sample, keep your bad and bougie ass on. I want my land on. Yasha Allah, prophet, second father, watch me pop my collar, fishing out, preparing for the slaughterhouse. Weapons of war in the drought. Hell, you talking about his God is all up. Why they chalking out bodies with your sword off? Religion intentions is looking shoddy, looking shoddy. A hard copy, we make a man out of Punani. The game is like you Jumanji, recording it like you Molly. UPK is one body, many members, no duplicates. The fate can't prove this. We in the PX Bronx, my nigga, who you with? We too legit to quit, and it's an all-star weekend. Not even in the atmosphere. The whole damn atmosphere, the chariots are not. Yeah, I wish I got my jacket here, passing over land with our weapons in hand. Commanding General Yohana raising messengers, man. Nothing ordinary, extraordinary ain't a compliment. The white man's breathing on a black man's oxygen. Without the UPK, we still believe in false doctrine. I'm in the furnace, Johnny Cochran, and the blood of fitness is kissing up Romulus. White man's a devil, America's a cockpit. Blaming homosexuals, Israel better stop quick. Christ is coming with 200 million black Malachian. Blood to the right, I'm flying saucers right with my eyes. That UPK anthem, we ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real explicit. Nothing random, everyone is a hit. That's why we land them. Hey, this that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real explicit. Nothing random, everyone is a hitter. That's why we land them. Hey, this that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a phantom. We be up on these corners like goddamn them. We be dropping these verses real explicit. Nothing random, everyone is a hitter. That's why we land them. Hey, this that UPK anthem. We ain't out here on the streets like a
Shalom, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command in Jerry Yohana. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The ISUPK is not affiliated with any other group. You understand? I'm Priest Officer 5000, Sean Garban Bunyan, holding it down in the city of London in the UK. And this is the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, the Hebrew class, you understand? Alright, so we're going to get into it. We're going to start with the Hebrew alphabet. And then today we're also going to go through, you understand, definitely going to go through the Rastafarian religion and where it came from, its origins. And we'll translate some precepts as to why we don't commit to certain customs like dreadlocks and smoking weed and all such, and the keeping of these things that are not of our heritage. All right. But for now, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna get the alphabet. Okay, that's the ancient Hebrew alphabet. I'm gonna move this over. There you have it. Abba, Gada, Hawa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Ta, Za, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Ta. In the ancient.
Belly of the beast, motherfucker, I'm a beast. See this world turn me out, with them toolies I'm a freak. It's a full moon out, I'm a wolf for God eat. Now I don't deal with fuck niggas, so my nigga keep it brief. I don't trust the white man, I can only trust my right hand. Boy, I'm in the war, it's like '03 up in Baghdad. Take you to my hood, where the sun don't really shine at. All we know is go, see we know forgiving toe tags, PCSDs. Come and see how we living, it's a war at the block better. Hide your children, youngest saw this man get shot now. He don't got no feeling, street turn you to a monster, man. Watch us make it killer, hit him with that Mossberg. Who that creeping through my window? Heard your girl blowing like this old school Nintendo. She the one who put this when that pie was in the window. Afraid from the slave, what you think I'm going in for? See you creeping, for a pound, what had you leaking? The turkey stuffer, my aim like the Mohican. We big steppers, fuck around and start tweaking. It's UPK, it's your mind when I'm speaking. It's a big dog, y'all, where the fuck's my bone at? A soldier in the storm, so I'm used to the combat. First roller, 7 got copy the format. One West, we step on my shit like a doormat. How you trying to take our shit and try and run with this shit? Got me looking at you niggas like you son of a bitch. And I'm down for my niggas, so put my name on the list. Shorty say I can't have wives, but she swallowing dicks. I'm thinking the shit, big tanks, I'm straight from the rip. Niggas losing their cash, they can't hide off their flip. I said, fuck the trap, but I'm still in the mix. We can put the guns down and go straight to the fist. I'm built for this, I seen this in my dream, it's my fate. Reading through the scriptures, only fill my stomach with hate. Oppression is a bitch, and catch the cup, and all of us drink. All I want is revenge, don't give a fuck about rape. Promise we can make it hot. Me and all my niggas breaking more lives than Jamaican spots. Lying cause you dropped the dot. Never can I lose to a cracker like I'm popping dot. Dreaming trying to raid a spot, cause he the one who pushed the rock. Prove that I'm down for mine. Blood, sweat, tears in that field, nigga. You can play the house, but I'm a field, nigga. Dressing all black, I'ma deal with your put.
Yeah. Officer knock in the car. Yeah, okay, we're gonna get the Syrian now. Alright, more than Hebrew. It's essential to learn both alphabets so you can understand what's going on. Okay, there you have it. The Assyrian alphabet, the Assyrian Hebrew alphabet.
Belly of the beast, motherfucker, I'm a beast. See this world turn me out, with them toolies, I'm a freak. It's a full moon out, I'm a wolf for how I eat. Now I don't give a fuck, nigga, so my nigga keep it brief. I don't trust the white man, I can only trust my right hand. Boy, up in the war, it's like 03 up in Baghdad. Take you to my hood, where the sun don't really shine at. All we know is go, see we know forgiving toe tags, PCSDs. Come and see how we living, it's a war of the block better. Hide your children, youngest saw this man get shot now. He don't got no feelings, street turn you to a monster, man. Watch us make a killer, hit him with that Mossberg. Who that creeping through my window? Heard your girl blowing like this old school Nintendo. She the one who whipped this when that pie was in the window. Afraid from the slave, but you think I'm going Nicolo? See you creeping, for a pound, what had you leaking? The turkey stuffer, my aim let throw my eating. We big steppers, fuck around and start tweaking. It's UPK, shut mine when I'm speaking. It's a big dog, y'all. Where the fuck is my bone at? A soldier in the storm, so I'm used to the combat. First roller 7 got copied the format. One West, we step on shit like a doormat. How you trying to take our shit and try and run with this shit? Got me looking at you niggas like you son of a bitch. And I'm down for my niggas, so put my name on the list. Shorty say I can't have wives, but she swallowing dicks. I'm thinking the shit, big things, I'm straight from the rip. Niggas losing they cash, they can't hide or they flip. I said, fuck the trap, but I'm still in the mix. We can put the guns down and go straight to the fist. I'm built for this, I seen this in my dream, it's my fate. Reading through the scriptures, only fill my stomach with hate. Oppression is a bitch, he passed the cup, and all of us drink. All I want is revenge, don't give a fuck about rank. Promise, we can make it hot. Me and all my niggas breaking more lives than Jamaican spots. Right, cause you dropped the dot. Never cannot lose to a cracker like I'm Papa Dot. Dreaming trying to raid a spot, cause he the one who pushed the rock. Prove that I'm down for mine. Blood, sweat, and tears in that field, nigga. You can play the house, but I'm a field, nigga. Dressing all black, I'ma deal with you. Put the mask on. Fuck fighting for a pill, niggas. Real shit. I'm surrounded by them real killers. Look upon the eyes of a real nigga. Know the blood is deep and I'ma deal with you. When you in the mix, it get dark, keep the still with you. Your clique full of snakes, full of faggots, keep it real with you, nigga.
Almost out of Christ. Alright, so now I'll leave a little bit more time. Alright, a minute more. Okay, no sweat. So now we're gonna move forward. Alright, with today's class. Okay. Now we're gonna go into, you understand, fix that lighting. Try again. Alright, no sweat. But yeah, we're gonna go into this book called The First Rasta, right? You understand? So if you guys can see it, okay? First Rasta, alright? By Helen, what's her name? Helen Lee, right? Now obviously Lee ain't about, you know what I'm saying, the Rastas, you know what I'm saying? But she knows about Leonard Howe, and this is about Leonard Howe. This is documented about Leonard Howe, and it's the rise of Rastafarianism, where the origins of it, where it came from, how it came to be, how we learned it, and no such. Now initially, I'm not going to read the whole book, of course, but we're going to go into the fact that most of the customs in that religion are just bastardized customs from the East Indians, you understand, from their Hinduism, right? So we're going to go to, it is chapter 11, and the chapter 11 is titled The Hindu Legacy, right? But of course, East Indians, when they were indentured servants and came brought to the Caribbean by the British, they of course introduced their customs and culture, and knowing how they're not a people that are in captivity. They're a people who is allowed to express and exercise their culture and their religions and their beliefs. Whereas our true culture was stripped from us. We are made to be gang members and thieves and perceived as, men with nothing. But of course, in our time of captivity, we took on their customs. I'm going to go through it. So Leonard Howe is the man who started the Rastafarian religion. It's a black man who started that religion in Jamaica. You understand? Alright, so look. Howe assumed the new name, so it's obviously way into the chapter, page 98. Right? Howe assumed the new name Gangang Guru Marag, right? Or Gong for short. He was known by this name until the 1960s. The choice of an Indian identity is significant. The Indian connection has been the most neglected of all Rasta influences until it was documented in the 1980s by Laxmi and Ajay Mansingh of the University of the West Indies. Their historic work on Indian immigration in Jamaica, Home Away from Home, critically and convincingly restores the important aspect of Rastafarian culture that latter Afrocentric visions devalued or ignored. All right. So this basically today. Most people, most Rastamen will not know about all this. Basically, most modern day brothers from the West Indies, from Jamaica, they don't know about all this information. You understand? I don't know about the fact of the origin, nothing like that. They think this is just our thing, which of course we learn that it is not our thing. It is what we learn from our oppressors. Okay. They take us back to May 10th, 1845, when Old Harbour citizens witnessed the arrival of the first shipload of indentured immigrants. So these, like I just said earlier, the indentured immigrants, right, or indentured servants. These are the East Indians, right, from India. Their subsequent transfer to Halsey Hall, a sugar plantation in Clarendon, right. These laborers replaced emancipated African slaves. They call us African, but of course we know we are Israel, right? Who refused to work for their former masters. The Falmouth Post reported that the coolies, this is where the word coolie comes from, were not athletic, but active and wiry, and as good-tempered and happy a set as were ever seen. A few Negroes who were presented at their landing seemed rather pleased and mingled with them readily, like us today, man. We love to mingle with these other nations. We love to mix in with these heathens. And just like back then, this is how we are today, right? Mingled with them readily, they were transported to allotted plantations by horse buggies and greeted by the Afro-Jamaicans who often offered food and drink to them. Relations between the coolies and Jamaicans never became antagonistic, and the limited number of women among the Indians expedited a quick absorption into black population. As a child in Clarendon, Howell had contact with the community. It is possible he, like many Jamaicans, copied their habit of smoking marijuana, right? Because that's where it came from. The whole it's gonna go into it, but the marijuana was not native to the island of Jamaica. You understand? Ganja is the Hindu or Urdu word for cannabis, sativa, right? and is generally accepted that successive waves of Indian immigrants introduced marijuana use to the island, right? They introduced the use, so read it again. Immigrants introduced marijuana use to the island. So the use of marijuana was introduced by the East Indian, right? Prior to that, we didn't know nothing about no marijuana. We didn't know nothing about burning weed and being high out of our minds. We didn't know nothing about that. But we learned from the heathen. We only follow them and copy them every minute. And this is historical fact. You understand? Leonard Howe himself, you understand, who began that religion, he spoke on this, right? Where are we at? Right? Howell probably drank the sacred bong, right? The refreshing ganja elixir. Above all, he was probably most impressed by the power of Hindu culture, by the strength they drew from daily contacts with their gods. Gods, plural. And that bung milk is referring to how the East Indians, when they served that god Shiva, because that's where the marijuana comes from. They smoke that, or they drink this bong milk, which is milk that has been boiled and cooked with the marijuana inside it. It's like a milk tea with marijuana in it, and of course the same effects. You get high from drinking it, like you get high from smoking it. Well, this is exactly what the East Indians did, and we learned from them. You understand? We're going further. Slaves after attending to personal and family chores, the priest. Sorry, we missed a bit. So yeah. So at the end of the day's work on the plantation, the workers would retire to the barracks, which were not far from the ex-slaves, right? Which is us, the blacks, the West Indians, right? So called. After attending attending to personal and family chores, the priest among them would sit down with the children and adults and read Ramayana and Puranic stories. Later, musicians would satisfy their urges by singing devotional folk songs. Initially, these activities were restricted to Indians only because that's their culture. It's not our culture. We learned that from them. The whole chanting and all that you see the Rastas doing, that is not our thing, man. To be all chanting every minute and acting like, we're serving these Hindu gods. That's their culture and religion, right? But as friendly neighborhood contact evolved with Afro-Jamaicans, the two communities began to join each other's rituals. That's how we learned, man. Joining hand in hand with the heathen and learning their ways and turning from our culture, right? Almost at regular intervals, a few individuals in every Indian community would perform a secret Kali Puja, right? Selected friends and relatives were invited to unknown spots where a ram was sacrificed with a single stroke of a machete amid a loud chanting of mantras, right? Invoking to the goddess Kali, right? This is what they do, serving their gods in Hinduism, right? After certain ceremonies, which involved smoking ganja, because even the word ganja that you read before, the word ganja comes from the East Indian, from their language, from Urdu and Hindi, right? That's from their language. You understand? The congregation would return to home of the host, chanting and shouting, Jai Kali Mai. That's what they shout, right? That's what they see. And what do a so-called Rastas shout? It's like Ja, Ja, Ja every minute. That's where they got it from, man. They got it from the East Indians, and that is not our culture, man. Drinking of bang or marijuana, smoking of ganja, hailing the goddess, and dancing and singing preceded the dinner of curried goat and bat. And of course, we took it from them, but we just made curry goat better, obviously. You know what I'm saying? The one thing we took from them that was good was the food, right? And we did it better than them. You understand? Right? Curious Afro-Jamaicans would always eavesdrop at the distance of hidden places. Some of them would join the festivities and guests. Right? Okay, so now look. All these things we learned from them, man. The smoking of marijuana, you understand? Let's see if it goes in. Right. Right, so the smoking of marijuana, that's not our culture, man. We learned it from them. The whole Rastafarianism religion, it eventually turned from, you understand, it eventually turned from serving the Hindu gods to Haile Selassie. That came later. But initially, that's where it came from. They started off with copying the customs of the Hindu gods as well as, you understand, um, and mixing that with the Bible and mixing all kind of manner of other things, and now you have that thing today. But all of that is just a bastardized culture of another nation, a nation that is less than you, black man. You understand? I'm gonna get into the last bit of the book, not the last bit of the book, but I'm gonna jump to page 102. So we're gonna cover these so-called dreadlocks, which because not only did we take from them, the falsehood and the service of false gods, but also we copied the way they do their hair, and that comes from that same thing, that same Hinduism. You understand? I'm going to go to that right now. The Indian influences on Rastafari did not end with the foundation of Pinnacle in Black Hole in Back Hole Wall, right? Western Kingston Ghetto, right, became the main Rasta stronghold in the late 1950s. Indian elders were shown the same respect as Africans. Exchanges, reasonings, right, took place around the chalice, the water-cooled coconut shell ganja pipe, yeah, dreadlocks, which some Rasta elders remember as zagavi, right, from the Hindu Jatawi, right, were possibly inspired by Southeast religions, medicines, whose presence, mendicants, whose presence in Jamaica, confirmed by 1910 photography, some prefer to relate to dreadlocks, published photos, Selassie's tribal guards, mountain lions, you understand. But, where is it? Mm-hmm. And that just goes into, there you go, right? And that goes a bit further along. But the point is that these things came from the East Indians. You understand? All these things we read about, they came from the East Indians. We did not learn that ourselves. Trying to fit where they lost it. Right? And we can look it up on ourselves. You understand? The Hindu priests would actually have these dreadlocks. And I'm gonna show you. Because dreadlocks initially, I'm trying to find it in the book, right? I think to scan through that again. But it mentioned about the whole factor of us not keeping these customs, man. You understand? These customs, of us learning these customs from these heathens, man. That's where we learned Rastafarianism. That's where we learned dreading our hair. We learned it from other nations of people, but it didn't come from us. We specifically learned it from the East Indians, and then obviously over time, everyone in the world took it as it was a Rasta thing, but really it's not, right? So now I'm gonna share the screen. Oh, this needs to come out the way. All right. Okay. Mm-mm. Hold on. Salakia. All right, so let's see. All right, so now we're gonna go into some precepts. You understand? We'll start with Jeremiah 10. We'll start with Jeremiah 10 and verse 1. Because we are not to commit to these customs, man. These customs that the heathen, you understand? So I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna get Jeremiah 10. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah 10 and verse 1. We're not to keep these customs, man. And we're gonna translate in the Hebrew. And we're gonna also go into what a lock is. We find locks in the Bible because a lock in the Bible is not the same lock as a dreadlock, right? Trying to find where. Hold on, I'm trying to find. Hold on. Okay, so lucky for the wait. Let's share the screen. All right. So now, oh, are we still online? So lucky, you couldn't see my screen for a second. Okay. All right. Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahshua, Barakatam to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shema, Alatan, Hashem, Yahshua to the sisters. All right. So now we're going to share the screen and we're going to go into Jeremiah. Right, you should be able to see it. Just let me know if you can't see it. But okay, we're on the blue letter Bible right now. All right. All right. So Shemaiah, right? Shemaiah, which is to hear or listen, right? Shemaiah of Hadabar, hear you the words, of, which is you, all right, or you all, okay. So hear you the words of Hadabar, Ashar, Dabar, right? Yahweh, I'll Yakum, Bayath, right? So hear the words that Most High, which is Yahweh, right? So hear the words. Okay, so look, Aisha, so okay, we'll go over again. We're around the board. So Shemaiah of Hadabar. We'll start with that. So hear you the words. If you hear it says the word, see the word Hada, and then the bar is word, right? Which Ashar, the Lord Yahweh, understand? Speaketh the bar. Al Yakum, right? Which is over you or to you. Okay, unto you, they got it, right? There you go. To you, unto you. Baryath Yasha Allah, right? Unto you, right? Baryath Yasha Allah, which is O house of Israel, as we can see, right? Baryath, right? House of Israel. So here, this is the word spoken unto Israel. We'll jump down to verse 2. Okay. Ka Amar Yahweh, right? Al Darak, right? Al Darak Hagawayim. So basically, it's saying thus the Lord, thus saith the Lord, right? Amar. So thus saith, so Ka Amar, thus saith Yahweh, not the way, Al, right? So Al is not or no, right? The rock is road or the way, right? So Al the rock. I'm gonna write this out on the board. Al the rock. So we'll start with that. Ka Amar Yahweh Al the rock. Thus saith the Lord, yeah, thus saith the Most High Yahweh. Of course, thus saith Yahweh or thus saith the Lord, not the way. And it says Ha Gawayim, which is the heathen. We'll get it on the board right now, so you should see it right here. So Ka Amar, thus saith Yahweh Al the rock, not the way the heathen, not the way the heathen. So thus saith the Lord, not the way the heathen. We're gonna go with that first. So we'll come back to the just stop sharing right now. Okay, so look, we'll come back to the board. We'll get it up there. Okay. It's Ka Amar. I'm gonna write in the ancient. Of course, on the blue letter, it is written in the Assyrian. Ka Adamar. Right, but we're gonna write in the Assyrian. Independent. All right. So we've gone through where the weed comes from. We've gone through where the dreadlocks originated. There's more in about the dreadlocks. It goes into the fact that It goes into the fact that the dreads were only referred to as locks because originally they were called dread, right? Because they're nasty. But you only refer to them as locks during like the 80s, from the 80s onwards, 1980s. So it's a new thing on the earth. But we're gonna get it anyway, right? And these things are not our culture, man. You understand? Smoking of weed, the dreadlocks, all of that. Shouting and chanting jar every minute. That ain't our culture, man. Alright? So that's Adamar. Where we at? Oh, we at Jeremiah 10 and 2. Oh, there we get it. Amar, thus saith Yahweh. Right? So, Ka Amar Yahweh. Right? Thus saith the Lord, Al Darak. Al Darak. Not the way. So don't or do not follow the way, right? Al Darak. So not the way. Go further in. Ha Gawayim. Ha Gawayim, which is the heathen. So don't follow the way of the heathen, which is what we're going to translate, of course. Ha. Hold on. Gawayim, the heathen, right? Or the nation. Alright? So there you have it, alright? So look. So Ka Amar, thus saith Yahweh, the Lord. Al Darak, not the way. Ha Gawayim, the heathen. So learn not the way of the we're going to go into because it says learn after. Alright, so it says Hagarim al Famal Fala Madawa. Fala Madawa al Amar Wadala. Oh, Salaki. Fala Madwa. Madwa. Right? Fala Madwa, which is to learn. So not, so al, which is not or no, right? So the way of the heathen, not learn. That's how it would directly translate. Of course, it says do not learn, right? All right, so it means to learn. Look, the root word is lamar, but of course, far lamadwa. Let's go back. So lamad, so like lamad means to learn, right? Look, far lamadwa means learn not, right? Al far lamadwa, right? Which means learn not the way of the heathen, right? Basically, you understand? So not learn, right? Or learn not, right? So Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Al, the rock, meaning thus saith the Lord, learn not the way the heathen not learn. That's how it directly translate. Of course, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. That's how it will translate in English. But of course, Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Al, the rock, Ha, Gawayim, which is the heathen, Al, not, Thalam, Thalamad, Thalamadwa, right? Thalamadwa, learn not the way of the heathen, man. You understand? Oh, we are not to learn the way of the heathen. Ha Gawayim, right? Al the rock Hagawayim, right? Al the rock Hagawayim, Hagawayim, right? Hagawayim, which is the heathen. Hagawayim, Al the rock Hagawayim, not the way the heathen. Al Thalamadwa. That's incorrect. So the connected, you know what I'm saying? Because lamad is the word to learn, right? Thalamadwa is what you understand, but the root word is to learn. Thalamadwa, al thalamadwa, right? Learn not the way of the heathen, right? Hagawayim, al. So the way of the heathen learn not, basically. You understand? Don't follow their ways, which is their way or their road, their way is the rock. It says al the rock, not the way. Ha Gawayim, the heathen. Al Thalamadwa, learn not. Right? We should learn not the way of the heathen, man. If you didn't hear it, you didn't understand English, we're gonna get to Hebrew too. You understand? In our holy tongue. We're not to learn the way of the heathen, man. We're gonna lead up there for a little bit. We'll leave it up there for a bit so people can get it down. I'm gonna move to the next precept. We're gonna get Proverbs. We ain't got much. Well, we've got a little bit of time. Proverbs 3 and 31. Because understand this, man. Not only is, you understand, we should not learn. Isn't it? It's not right for us to learn their customs and cultures and ways, like dreadlocks and smoking weed. But also, you understand, we have to understand these nations round about us. Not only are they the heathen, but they have oppressed us, man. And specifically in Jamaica, on the islands, the Caribbean islands, like Trinidad, Jamaica. You understand? We are ruled over by these heathens, man, and they oppress us, man. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think's buying up the land and all the stores and takes up all the wealth of the community within the island of Jamaica, man? The so-called Chinese, the Moabites, and the East Indians, which are Ayalam, right? Ayalam, man, or Elam. You understand? These are the nations that are round about us and within these lands. And thus saith the Lord, which is Ka Amar, Yahweh, Al Darak. Learn not the way, or not the way, Ha Gawayim, the heathen, Al Thalamadwa, Salakia, Al Thalamadwa. Learn not, right? The way of the heathen, learn not, right? Learn not the way of the heathen in English, of course. We should not learn that way, man, because it has only been for our downfall. Those nations round about us, we followed their customs and culture when they came over to Jamaica in the 80s and the 60s. You understand? The 1900s, they came over to Jamaica. And what did they do? What did they do? They mixed in with us. And then when they got power, when they got all the ownership of all the lands and all the wealth of the island, you understand? Now they look down upon us. Same thing in Trinidad. Trinidad, they came in and they took over. Now they oppress us on our own little island that we were forced to work for free on. You understand? When they came over here, like Riff read in the book, right? They were indentured servants. Yeah, they ain't getting. They're not friggin'. They're not making hell of a lot of money, but they were getting paid, man, and they were allowed to keep their customs and cultures and ways. But we was not. You understand? A little bit more time on that. Okay. So again, we'll go through it again. Ka Amar, thus saith Yahweh al Darak, the Lord, the way not, right? The way not. So learn not the way. Ha Gawayim, right? The heathen. The Gawayim, heathen, right? Al Thalamadwa, Salaki, Al Thalamadwa, right? Not to learn. Learn not the way of the heathen, man. You understand? Okay, we'll get a little bit more time for the brothers and sisters to get it down, and then we are going to. And I would advise and encourage those that are watching to also get the right. You obviously write out on the board that what's on the board, of course, but also I would encourage you to write out in also the Assyrian as well. That's why we go through the both alphabets every single class so that you guys can write it down and you can write it out not just in because of course you've seen it on the blue letter. You can get the blue letter yourselves. You can get the app on your phone, or you can go on the computer, right, and write this all out, man. You can go get the source yourself on the blue letter Bible, and there you'll find it in the Assyrian. But from now we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to Proverbs 3:31. We'll go getting that. You guys can copy it down. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen now. Where is it? Okay. All right. So here we go. So Proverbs 3:31. Al. Oh, I'm gonna read it in English first, actually. So Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, man. The East Indians have oppressed our brothers and sisters, man, in on the islands, man. You understand? And they oppress us in our communities over here in the UK and over there in the Americas, man. They take up all the wealth. They have all the little corner shops, the little grocery stores or convenience stores, as you call them, over there in America. You understand? We all over the little corner shops, all over the place, man. They and in our ghettos, in our community, the Chinese, the Japanese, all of them, they're all up in our communities and our ghettos, man, and they own all the infrastructure. We own nothing. They oppress us, man. You understand? And that's like they oppress us in the Caribbean. Bible says, "Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways." We shouldn't follow the ways of these heathens, man, who have oppressed us and oppress us today in on the island of Trinidad. You understand? In on the island of Jamaica and all such. You understand? They take over everything. They look down upon us and treat us like nothing, man. But we built the wealth of all these lands that we see before us, man. So I'm gonna get it right here so you guys can see it. Al Farquana Quana, right? Quana, which is envy not, envy thou, and then al means not. So envy thou not. Yash, which is in the man, in man. So it's saying man, and it's making it specific. Envy thou not in this man. Karmas, karmas, which is oppressor. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go through it. Right when you go into the Strongs for this word karmas, right? It said man because, of course, it's a masculine uh, terminology, which means man. But then it says kamas, which is the oppressor, right? Here it's used for the word oppressor. You understand? Someone that is violent, used 39 times. Violent, cruelty 4 times, wrong, false, cruel again, damage, injustice, right? Oppressor, that's what the oppressor is. Unrighteous, kamas, kamas, right? So Ayash Kamas, the oppressive man, which is or just the oppressor in English, right? We'll go back. Where was we? We'll go back to where we was. Right. So it says al qua na'a, right? Envy thou not. Al for qua na'a, envy thou not. Ba in aryash kamas, which is the man. In man, kamas, which is oppressor, right? In that oppressor, which is a male figure, the oppressor, right? Wa al for bar car, right? See what they got for this word, right? Oh, right. And choose. So and not wa al and not choose. So we're gonna get that on the boards, right? So what al, which is and not. So envy thou not al for quana or for quana, right? Bar ayash kamas, the oppressor, the oppressive man in Hebrew. Wa al and not choose for bar car and not choose, right? And then of course it's gonna go into his ways or his way, the rock, Yawah, right? Bar kal, all his ways. All bar in all kal, and then the rock which is the way, like we read in the other precept, the way or the road, which is the way, the rock, what Yawah, his ways, right? Plural. So bar kal, which is and go for it again. Bar kal, which is in all the rock Yawah, his ways. So wa'al and not choose, which is for bar car, so and choose none of his ways. All right, we're gonna write on the board anyway. We'll get you right. Okay. Get down the board. Proverbs 3:31. Okay. Bow. Fuqua. Na'a. Na'a. Fuqua na'a. So envy thou not. This is not. Al is not. Right? Fuqua na'a is envy thou. So envy thou not. Right? Envy thou not. Ba in Aryash. And of course, it's saying Aryash, which is the man. This man that you're not to trust in or not to envy in the man, which is oppressive, violent, unjust, like we just went through. You understand? We went through the word of Kamas, Kamas, yeah, Kamas. That is our oppressor, man. You understand? He is unjust, unrighteous. He is violent. You understand? Right? Ayash Kamas, which is in the man, which is Kamas, which is oppressive. You understand? He's the oppressor, right? He is violent. He is unjust. He is wrong. I'm gonna bring it up again actually so you guys can see, right? So oppressor, we'll just write oppressor, right? Because that's what it translates to, of course. In the man, or specific man, right? Right. In that oppressor, which is a masculine. All right. I'm gonna bring it up again so you guys can see for Kamas. Oh, this thing, man, every time. Allah. Okay. All right, there you go. So there's the word Kamas. See it there? Okay, we're gonna go into the strong again, just to clarify. Go through all the different synonyms for this word. Strong's H2555. Say verb. Violent 7 times. Cruelty. Wrong. False. Cruel. Damage. Injustice. You understand? Oppressor. Right? Unrighteous. This man who we are not to trust in, right? He is unjust. He is righteous. He is our oppressor. Kamas. Right? Bar Ayash. Ayash, which is man, in man oppressor, in man Kamas, which is in the oppressive man we should not trust, in the man that oppresses us, in the people. You understand? The so-called Caucasian man, the East Indian man, the Arab man, the African man, all these nations round about us. You understand? Envy thou not. Al Faqwa Na'ar. Al Faqwa Na'ar. Envy thou not. Bar Ayash Kamas. Right? The oppressor. We're going to the rest of it. And it says choose not, which is wa'al and wa'al wa'al and not fa bar car bar car, right? And not to learn. Learn not, you understand? Sorry, and choose, not learn, choose. So like that was the last precept. And choose one of his ways. And not choose. Right? This is the direct translation is and not choose. Of course, we understand this choose none of his ways, but in the Hebrew directly, it would say wa al thabar kar, which is choose, which is to choose, right? Thabar kar wa al thabar kar, choose not, right? And choose not, and choose not all, which is bar in, choose not in, which is bar cow, which is all. Right, in all, bar cow, the rock, which is ways, in that last precept, the rock. The rock Yahweh, right? His ways. The rock Yahweh. Right? So envy thou not al faqwa na'ah in so like envy thou not Bar Ayash, in man, oppressor, in the oppressor basically. But it's just saying in the masculine term, in this man you will not trust. This man is Kamas, the oppressor, right? You understand what we just went through, right? So Bar Ayash Kamas, so in the oppressor, Wa'al and not, Thabar Kar and choose not, right? Thabar Kar, Wa'al, Thabar Kar, which is and choose not, Bar Kal, the Bar Salakia, Wa Salakia, Bar Kal, the Rak Yawa, and all his ways, in all his ways, right? Bar Kal, the Rak Yawa, all his ways. So, and choose not in all ways, right? Of course, that's the oppressor's ways. That's what it says in the scriptures, man. And translate into the Hebrew. You understand? Al, Thaqwa, Na'ar, Bar, Aryash, Kamas, Wa'al, Thabar Kar, Bar, Kal, Darak, Yawa. Envy thou not in the oppressor, in the oppressive man, and choose none, and choose not in all ways, all his ways. You understand? We should not choose in our oppressors' ways, man. We should not follow their customs, man. These people have oppressed us, and it has only been for our downfall to follow their customs and ways, man. You understand? We've got a little bit more time, so I'm gonna get another precept. I think I'm gonna get Leviticus 18. Let's see. What's another good precept? You know what? Next week we'll go into the actual the locks itself, right? The color par, which is actually braids in the Bible. The locks in the Bible is not dreadlocks, right? Locks in the Bible is makala pa, which is a braids. You understand? Which is braids, man. Porn rules. You understand? But we're gonna go into that next week. But now we'll just get. You know what? We can stick with that actually. Judges, Samson. What? Okay. Yeah, we can get a good precept in about Samson and his locks, man. and I'll get some more on the origin of locks. But the dreadlock ain't got nothing to do with our culture, man. This is from, you know what I mean. The whole dreadlocks even came into Jamaica in during the term of dreadlocks even came in time of the 80s. It didn't come in ancient times. It was never called that. It had their own name for it, as you read in that book. You understand? And we're gonna go to Judges. We're gonna go to Judges. Oh, we can't go through the whole thing, but we can sum it up. You understand? We don't have to read the whole thing. Um, yeah, right. So yeah, give you a little bit more time. We'll give you a minute more, and then we're gonna go to Judges with Samson. Right, we're gonna get those locks. You understand? Let's see why you're writing it down. Judges 16 and 13. He had 7 locks, which is 7 braids in his hair, 7 cane rolls. You understand? You understand? That ain't Israelite culture. You understand? Okay, we're gonna read it. Okay, so we're gonna share the screen, and we're gonna get Samson Shamash one, which is Samson in Hebrew, right? Not Shemaiah one. That's the Simeon. Shamash one is Samson. Okay, let's share the screen. Shamash one. Okay. All right, so you should see it. This is Judges chapter 16 and verse 13. And Delilah said unto Samson, which is Shamash one, right? Hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with a web. So this is where he was telling her little lies and trying to sway her from the truth of his power that the Lord gave him. You understand? So we're gonna go through it. So wa for wa for amar da la ya da ya la da salaki the la ya la, which is Delilah, right? Al Shamash one, right, which is Samson, right? Id Hagar. We're not gonna go through the whole precept because that's a lot of writing, and we ain't got that much time. We're gonna get to the main thing. Where does it say 7 locks of his head? Let's see. Ka'asar wa Amar al Yar. Uh, um, Amar. Right, here we go. Right, Af Shabai, which is 7. Right, Af Shabai Ma Kalapar Wath. Right, Ma Kalapar Wath. Now, he's saying the 7 locks of his head. Shabai, so like, yeah, Shabai is 7. This is where he said the 7 lock, where he weaves the seven locks of my head. So we're gonna go into the lock, right? And right here you go. You can see it on the screen. Locks, right? The locks. Makala pa is the root word. Makala pa, which is a lock, which is our braids we have, which is you always know braids, boots, and beards is one west because that has always been our culture from ancient times. Makala pa, which is the locks, right? The true locks of the Bible is not talking about no dreads. We're going to get it. You can read it. Right? Now, when you do this, you're going to go through KJV translation counts. Right? It's what is used for lock or locks. Right? See, here it is. Outline Bible usage. Right? Braid, lock, plait of hair. You understand? It is a braid, lock, plait of hair. It's a plaits. You know what plaits are? The word lock is simple like a key. You know what I'm saying? You put a key into a door, you understand? It opens and it closes. Like when you got braids on your head, when they are locked in, that's the sister braiding your hair. When you unlock it, she's taking it out and she's washing your hair. That's what a braid is, a lock. The original Goldilocks, she had two big braids coming down both sides of her head. Right? The original Goldilocks, right? And she had Goldilocks because she had two blonde braids coming down her head, right? That's what Goldilocks. So the term makalapa is the Hebrew for braids or locks. You understand? It says it right there. Right. There's no other defining meaning, but there you go. Right? Makalapa is the braid, is our locks. It is not talking about no dreads where you don't wash your hair and it mats together. That is a East Indian custom. Right? That is a East Indian custom that is not our own. Right? That was just to touch up on the topic of today, which was, you know what I'm saying, the Rastafarian religion and the customs of the heathen that we should not follow. Right? Envy thou not the oppressor, the man, in the oppressive man, and choose not in all his ways. Right? Which is al, Thaqwa Na'ah, envy thou not, Ba Aryash in the man, Kamas, the oppressive man, right? Wa'al, Thabar Kar, which is and choose not, Ba Kal Darak Yawa, in all his ways, and choose not in all his ways, right? So with that, that's the class. Clap it up. You understand? And I'm going to give you the announcements real quick. So lock here. Let's get it. What is it? So today we went through his precepts and how we are not to envy our oppressors. You understand? We should not keep no dreads or no. We can even go into the smoking, but we ain't gonna touch on that right now. All right. It's the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10% in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering to a priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of First Fruits, which is the Pentecost, the 50th day, right? It should be held at B185BW in Birmingham. Contact the school for further information. Anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, the courtesy salute. I Majum Shabbat, I Majum, Barak, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatam, Yahweh Shema Alathon Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yajam Matah, Class dismissed.